As it stands, it's time to get ourselves into it. Ladies and gentlemen, I know you guys have been waiting. I know you've been hanging out, but now it's time for the CSGO versus Valorant grudge match here on the Team Liquid Twitch channel. And we are heading to map number 1, the CSGO team versus the Valorant. It's going to be a good one, Lawler.
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get to see Split in our Pro-Am that we did on Friday, but I think if we could do it justice, it is definitely going to be between these two teams. And even though we didn't mention him that much, keep your eye on Keller. He had some insane 1v4s in our Pro-Am. I'm curious to see if he can bring that back out, because there's times where it looked dire and he was able to clutch up.
Well, we also get to see Mendo not going to be playing the Duelist Raze here in map number 1. Actually has decided to go over onto Sage. So he has said that he's enjoyed IGLing in Valorant almost more than any other game that he has had a chance to play. So now that he's on something like Sage that kind of can have that sit back and kind of control the conversation style, I think that could be options, as Elysian fortunately gets caught out. But as we say that, Twist picks up a nice little double there onto Ace to start things off.
Trying to use that orbital wall, but gets picked up on top, able to boost himself up with Nitro. Well done going through Split. It's going to take zipline and come across. You see that skyrocket already. One of the longer smokes in the game as they're trying to pressure A. One on the back side gets pushed and Stewie drops down Poach. Giving them a quick 3-0, and the defuse is going to be first round going to the favored CSGO team.
Well, you can't go wrong when you are not only able to successfully get all 3 or all 5 of the kills, but also get yourself a nice little spike defuse. So we get ourselves a little check of the replay, and despite Shroud's solid efforts, it was the CSGO Team Liquid squad that decided to pull themselves strong in round number 1.
Taking a look at the eco, so roughly for a full kit, it's about 3,500 to 4,500 depending on what you're looking for. So first round, usually not too detrimental. These guys are going to buy some SMGs and get back into it. So full buy here on the CSGO team. While the rest are probably going to save up for another round or two, but looks like A push is already highly contested, and they're playing it aggressive as well. A lot of people try to sit back and let them take this corner peek, but no hesitation from CSGO, and that's what you want to see. A team that has a little bit less information, obviously, coming in. They want to play the aggressor.
Little wall out there by Nitro to stop things off. Mendo, of course, tries to throw an orb over as well to get some sort of gaming off. Stewie, thankfully, though, picks up that kill onto Mendo, so Sage isn't going to be unavailable. And Stewie holds yet another corner, picks one up onto Ace, and almost pulls out, but the 3K for Stewie. Nitro helps clean them up out on a Keller. Shroud's the only one left alive, does pick up a headshot over on a Twist, but still, it's a 1v3 situation with only 56 health available. Shroud finding himself in a rough spot, now down to only 6 HP. Looking to see if he can handle something out on a sewers, but it's not going to be enough. Knows that there is one player peeking. Elige peeks. Shroud gets the final kill. That 6 isn't going to be enough for them to be able to have it. And just like that, another round to the favor of the CSGO squad.
No, difficult fight. Doesn't matter if it's high or low. Not a whole lot he can do. Now, obviously, with this slow over on the ground, it does make an audio cue, so you're kind of forced to just sit. And luckily, Cypher, when Keller does pop out, is able to find Stewie up top, but Shroud just kind of cut rock in the hard place on this one. Not a whole lot he could do there, so we saw the favoritism from Twitch chat, and it's always nice when they're right, because it doesn't happen too often.
Yep, and for those of you that are asking, maybe you're a CSGO Team Liquid fan, but you're a little unfamiliar with Valorant and the way that it works. It is 24 rounds total, 12 round halves. First to 13 is the victory, and if it ends at 12-12 at the end of that round 24, it's only 1 round left for that best of 1, essentially, who decides to win the map. As Shroud picks up a nice shot there onto Stewie, tries to get himself a little jumping rocket launcher shot, but it wasn't enough to actually get something to land.
Yep, trying to use and utilize the blast pack, so it doesn't deal any damage to Raze, but it will pop you up in the air, and the fall damage can be detrimental. So just trying to get that elevation over the Sage wall and then pop some damage. Do hear Leech step on that slow orb, so audio there, but use that curveball, see if you can flash somebody. Nobody to find. Just taking it slow, and this is where I think it favors CSGO, the ability to slow it down here, especially on defense. This is what we wanted, so glad to see that the defensive side holding strong. Nothing too forced here, as Snaffy does find Keller.
Already a solid start by every single one. of the Team Liquid CSGO players is I think you kind of hit the nail on your head in the sense of the patience that there needs to exist and the patience that they're capable of executing. Helping them out strong is it is a 3v2 situation. Ace, of course, still alive. Has been able to pull off great plays like this in the meantime, but nothing just yet. A little flash tries to go around. Twist able to pick up one onto Shroud. That's going to only leave Ace as the last one left alive. Tries to peek around a corner. It's a wide peek, but it's not going to matter. As Ace goes down, Twist picks himself up yet another one. And round 3 already in favor of the CSGO squad.
Could be a big swing as well. That was the buy round as well. So not only are they able to clutch it up here, Twist making it look almost too easy with that SMG. Just able to take those peeks and spray over Ace. So the ability to transition this over, luckily, you're starting to see those lost for the eco come in and should buy back, but I can assume we're going to see another save from attack, just otherwise it's going to keep swinging the other way, so hopefully going to find Spix, maybe a little bit more defensive on the attack, or a really hard push all from one side, but it looks like they split it up, 3 on one side and 2 on the other, so curious to see how this is going to play out. So we see Nitro just peeking mid, seeing if he can spot anybody out. Nobody there.
Yeah, Spike is on the southern side of the map over towards the B side. You can actually see it denoted on the minimap by that little yellow triangle that you have around. So still time aplenty, but the ultimates are going to be coming up for everybody very soon as Nitro able to pick one, but he gets traded off by Mendo, who gets then traded off by Twist. So it was still a 2-1 in favor of the kills over for a Team Liquid CSGO team. Keller tries to pull through, knocks down a piece of the barrier from the Sage, but Stewie returns with 2 quick kills of himself, makes that a third onto Ace, a beautiful 3K, and Stewie continuously doing what he does best and moving it to a 4-0 advantage for Team Liquid CSGO.
Big 3K for Stu. We wanted to see what he was capable of. I said it early here in the pre-show, but some things never change with this guy. Just the ability to just dictate fights when he's feeling confident. You already see him top of the board, 7-2 in that KDA, and I don't foresee it stopping anytime soon.
Now, there is enough money for Team Valorant to actually all get themselves some full buys. You also have Keller, Mendo, Ace, and Poach within 1 or 2 ultimate points available and could potentially use that to swing some economy in their favor, but they're still going to have a tall task as we say that, though. Shroud and Ace are able to pick up the first 2 entry frags of the round. That's going to help them out a lot. When you've got the firepower in your hands, good things are bound to come. They now will then shift over to the A side. It does look like that is going to be a spike that is planted. So Nitro picks one top on an Ace, and it's a retake for the Team Liquid CSGO.
Going to see Bob the Boombot going through the skyrocket of NAF, seeing if he can find anybody. Will lock on anybody in that cone and chase them down unless he's shot, so possible option, but doesn't matter. Shroud picks up yet another one, this time on Stewie, as one peeks over the top. NAF does respond as he's going to swing into A elbows. That high elevation needs to be careful. He's checking all of his angles, even with Heaven. Just trying to find anybody on the site as he does spot one on the backside. But it doesn't matter. Just too many people to deal with. And Shroud gets yet another one with the operator.
It's going to be 3 kills that round in the hands of Shroud. So finally helping his team out just a little bit. Actually, the first player to finish now above a 1 KD. So momentum has started in their direction. You still have full buys available, of course, on the CSGO side. So they're not going to be running too short anytime soon. As we say that, though, it is actually looking to be a split buy as Ace and Mendo currently still sitting on their pistols. Doesn't look like they want to kick into anything just yet. So it will be a half buys, and big plays are going to have to happen. And what better way to start it with Shroud as around immediately popping off another shot with that operator.
Some things you need to be careful of, and one of those is Shroud with a 1-hit click. So seeing him get involved early as soon as he picks up that operator. Slow up comes out in the mid. Looks like Nitro is going to respond with that. Curious to see if he's going to put up his own orbital wall or just be patient. Sides on the ladder. Putting up that wall. Holding off time that will last for 30 seconds. So plenty of time to peek other angles. Seeing a long rotation through A. Just kind of waiting out so he does find Poach on the top side.
Yeah, that's going to leave the A side essentially completely unmanned now, as they are, all 3 members going to shift through mid down over to the B site.
My ultimate is ready.
You're seeing Cypher as well take that long rotation back to B, so nobody is covering. We do have one up in mid by Heaven, so could be an option here for Cypher if he wants to make that transition. He does have Jet on the side as well to help out, so this could be a really good play. But already the CSGO team starting to swarm back to B site.
Prepare for hellfire.
He's going to be there. Elige will pick up one, gets traded off by Kellar, so a nice little 1v1 trade. Still 15 seconds left to go. They were able to find the ideal box plant for that spike. You know, just in the nick of time. Spike will get planted. That's extra money into the hands of Valorant's side. But now it's going to be a retake situation for CSGO.
I know exactly where you are.
Even across the board, 3v3, Cypher showing off. Able to get all that information, but the Daze and Naka possibly coming out. Keller does pick one on Nitro. Trying to find the backside, does get turned and peeked, and it doesn't matter. Clutched up by Valorant team.
Solid effort. Keller, of course, with the 3K to end that round. And the Daze, as we take a look at this replay and we get to kind of see the kills as they line themselves up, I think that the solid informational knowledge of the map, as you can see those last two kills, CSGO kind of got themselves turned around a little bit, and I think it shows just the experience that Valorant has on the map so far as you see them around, but it doesn't matter. They've got them another one on the board and even more money in their pockets.
Yeah, it's actually interesting to see Mendo switch it up from last week as well. Obviously, he's not top fragging in that aggression that he likes, but he's really utilizing what Sage can do, not only wall off and buy time with audio cues and otherwise, but also throwing that orb to heal, trying to get some sort of information with it, but they're peaking as a team, and that's what matters. Able to get that trade down, so like you said, able to buy back into it. Plenty of money to work with. As we see a quick push up here in mid. Seems to be highly contested by Sage just because of that wall. But that's going to come out and do quite a bit of damage.
It's going to force Mendo actually to use his healing orb on himself, so they'll deny it a little bit more if any of the teammates try to have something. Ace has full utility available to use that curveball and try to see if he can get a flash over the wall. Nitro, though, holding this angle. Making sure that...
Keeping a peek on Brimstone, top of the map, too. Was sitting A with it for quite a while with the spike. Shroud finds Naf again with an operator. Seems to be his demise as Stewie going to take out Shroud. Can he land another? He does. Gets down Mendo with the 2K. Before he gets dropped himself by Keller, so trades back and forth again. Seems to be that Valorant team is warming up.
Lees tries to secure some sort of vision and heal himself up. Unfortunately, location was revealed. Tries to pre-fire across the wall. Is it going to be there just yet? Spike has been planted, so that then will trigger them knowledge of the retake that is necessary. It is a 2v3. Twist has an operator available, but peeking around these corners with his pistol. Ace holding himself a corner.
Yeah, it looks like they're just going to say backing all the way off, playing passive on this one. No need to force it either. Still up by one, so expect a big buy here in the next round or two.
I think yet again, it's kind of the showcasing the experience of the economy that the CSGO team obviously has. It's going to be very difficult for them to retake that situation in a 2v3, especially the short-range incapabilities of the operator. So they're just going to save weapons, let it explode. 4-3, still advantage for CSGO, but last three rounds rather, working out pretty well in favor of Valorant as we are onto the second part of this first half.
It's exactly what you want to see, though, from the CSGO team, using that game knowledge. Even though they may not be the most experienced, still plenty of monetary funds to work with. So the currency on their side, you're going to see them buy up and hopefully be able to contest this to maintain that lead that they're looking for, but unfortunate for them, the attacking side on Valorant looking extremely healthy in terms of funds as well. So
Kellar sitting on a casual, almost 11,000 credits, holds on to him for the round, doesn't even buy Shroud a weapon. It's just sad. He's your teammate. Share some of that wealth.
See the flash come out with that curveball. Does pick up one. They get a trade, though. As again, Shroud with the operator. Able to drop down as we jump back into mid with Nitro. Just trying to take this peek. Does have the ability to jump up on that wall and peek the angle, but slow peek from there could be dangerous. The only way to break through that wall is if they do shoot it or knife it down. So Shroud does have the capability here with Jet. Jumps against the headshot with Poach. Can he dodge yellow? Gets around Brimstone. Just not going to get the peek as Naf does pull up a 2K. So good clutch here in this tight angle.
Tried to shimmy around the corner. Alone. Little shimmy only did so much. Couldn't pull the operator out fast enough.
Gotta have that quick wit about you as you get dropped. Unfortunate. But I think my favorite part is that his game and name is Nappy Poo. So taking him as seriously as difficult as Poach decides to do nothing but put him down.
Still a 1v1 if he were able to pick this kill up on Twists. Would be solid for them to get the operator in his hands, but thankfully he flipped the coin of which site do I go to and successfully is able to get the correct one as Twists finds himself on the opposite side of the map. That will be possibility for Poach to be able to actually get this plant. Needs to hurry up though, only has 10 seconds left remaining. Able to has it, spike gets planted. That's going to be immediate knowledge of Twist of where he has to go, and now we got ourselves a Western standoff.
Difficult for Poach as well. Not a whole lot of utility to work with. Does have that incendiary, so able to pull off the Molotov. It doesn't matter. Gets popped immediately on elbow. And you see the aggression come out right away from Twists. But Poach staying grounded gets the win and picks up his operator. So a big swing here for the attackers. And clutched up. And just like that, 8 rounds in, we are all tied up.
Taking their time. Finally, Valorant squad started to slow themselves down a little bit and tried not to play into the strategy of Team Liquid CSGO, and now that they're starting to figure it out, operations are plenty. Lots of money available on Valorant, so they're not going to be hurting credits-wise anytime soon, and as we stated on the other side, it will be a split buy, unfortunately, for CSGO, is they're going to have to wait themselves out a little bit and make sure that they can have the economy to keep up with some of these firefights.
Credit to the CSGO team as well. We thought it was going to be a little bit slower start from them. They came out aggressive, and Valorant is now starting to be the ones that are playing catch-up. So, good to see if this continues. Taking a peek on top of ramp. Nobody there. Tight angle into A. Nobody there either. So, they do have one deep on the other side towards connector from A into long. But you're going to see run it back. Immediately picks by Elige. Good poke. Does get dropped. So, the information there in the trade immediately after. So, great utilization of that ultimate.
Run it back. Not only can it give you the chance to get those kills, but the information, if you find yourself in an outnumbered firefight, when you go back, could be aplenty for your team. We're now at about the 50-second mark. Elige tosses up that firewall to help deny them from going into something. Poach decides to play himself yet again, and spike gets planted.
Wasn't for nothing, though. Does get dropped as Naf finds a pick on Shroud. You're going to see Keller moving in through zipline into heaven. As found in the corner, Stewie gets dropped. Can he clutch it up for his team? No, Nitro catches him around the corner. And like that, CSGO back on top.
It's going to be a lot of extra money into their hands as we check out the replay from the last round. And again, Elige's utilization of this run it back helped him out so much, because not only was he able to pick up that kill, thankfully Nitro picked up that second one before he had a chance to go back, but still providing that extra knowledge, helping out their teams, and showcasing a little of the flair that exists within Valorant. And it's not just about the gun skill, it is also about utilizing those abilities to provide information and extra bonuses for your team.
Yeah, plan never went down, though. Raze from Stewie2K did manage to find him with that rocket on the backside. So, Stewie's still our top fragger here. Some things, like I said, never change, and Stewie being aggressive is one of them that remains true. As they're going to boost up with that Sage wall. See if they can take a different angle as they peek around this corner into mid. But little do they know, no one is actually there. They're already 2 in heaven. Kind of watching B-side, just trying to back off. Hopefully drawing this team in, seeing if they can get them on a different angle of approach.
And you're starting to see, despite the run that Team Valorant actually had, is now that you're starting to see more access to knowledge of these different angles and of these different defensive positionings, that's giving Team Liquid CSGO communication a whole lot of extra bonuses, and immediately it's doing just that as Stewie picks himself up one. Nitro gets the res onto Naf, so that's going to help them out a whole lot more coming into this, and rooms that they were starting to hold going to get pressed in by Valorant. Ace picks himself up a kill on a Stewie and evens it out now at 4 versus 4.
Now, for those that are a little bit newer to Valorant and haven't been watching, each Agent has a certain amount of points that they require, as we see again the CSGO team pick up a win here. But the Resurrection for Sage is a 7-point ability, so every round, whether you get a kill or a death, will increase the amount of points. There's also ultimate points on the ground that they can gather, and once they get all those, they can use their ultimate. Sage's cost 7 and is a instant revive on a teammate that has been down. So able to bring back a agent and help them out as we go up now 2 for CSGO, and they're looking confident. You know, it's hard to argue that the teamwork and coordination is definitely there. The benefit of being a team that plays together consistently really paying off.
Well, round number 11 of 12 here in the first half, and so 2 more successful defensive rounds by Team Liquid CSGO could give them a huge piece of insurance coming into the second half, as they're going to have to learn attacking strats. And once they got themselves the defensive strats managed, it's going to be a swip swap for them, as yet again finding ourselves with fights, as we do have the spike hanging out onto the bottom side of the map. It does look like essentially a 4-1 split, as Kellar taking his time.
Trying to break that wall of Sage. Shroud does find Nitro on the back end into heaven. It's holding that eye angle. That's what we were talking about, that tailwind and that updraft, being able to use quick mobility as well as get a different angle of height. As Kellar does with Cypher, spot out the player here. Taking that quick peek, see if you can find anybody in those angles. Nobody there. Just playing it patient, as we're going to see a skyrocket come down. Now, has the option to push through that smoke quietly if he would like to, but it's going to wait for backup before they do so. Plenty of options here. Shroud does have the tailwind if he wants to go in quickly.
Prepare for hellfire.
Gonna have to try for something. 24 seconds left remaining. That's gonna be an ultimate that comes out to stop them in their tracks from pushing themselves through. And CSGO's now having themselves a heyday as they pick up 2 kills. Mendo's able to get the res onto Kellar, and that'll help themselves out just a little bit. But the trades across the board, and there's only 1 player left alive on Valorant. It's gonna be none other than Kellar himself. He will have just enough time to plant behind the box. Is he gonna get it? No, he won't. The wall bang from Elise is going to give him a 3K, but more importantly, a 7-4 advantage for CSGO.
You can see it in the replay here. Just look at the coordination of how this aggresses. So even though they get the trades here, it's just immediate all push at the same time from every angle covered, and they just wipe them. It's just that coordination that they have as a team and that dedicated shot caller. We were talking about it a little bit off stream. Who is going to take that advantage? And some things are remaining true. We're thinking it's Nitro right now, and even though everybody in chat, we appreciate you guys being here, if you want to see the perspectives of these players, some of them are streaming as well, so don't be afraid to go support your favorite players as well and cheer them on.
Here, we're hanging out and watching the frags aplenty on the last round of the first half.
Exactly
just like that, it's trades back and forth, and only 2 players of CSGO are left alive. Kellar, yet again with the spike in his hand, has been on plant duty, and plant successfully he has, as now a retake 2v3 situation, and it's kind of all against all, as you're going to get a reset on economy, you're going to get a reset on side swap, so having a little bit extra aggression certainly going to be as an opportunity. Snap tries to throw out Molly, tries to see if they can zone them out a little bit, as Shroud pops himself down. Nice little smoke to see if they can hold themselves this angle and deny CSGO from the retake.
Using that updraft again to get a higher angle peek back into A, so he needs to be careful because he can see above that sky smoke. As Stewie turns, drops down Poach, trying to check the other angle. They need to get this defused quick, but it's going to be too little too late. As the plant is going to go off, they're going to get that extra 300 as well as the round win. So Valorant's starting to climb back. We were tied up at 4 apiece. Now switching the other way.
7-5. Not too bad of a place for them to be at. As now we swap onto the sides, and this kind of, starts to ask the question, how are these attack strats going to happen for Team Liquid CSGO? Because I feel that you can understand the tactical shooter aspect of Valorant from the defensive side just by having so much CSGO experience, but now these attacking strats are going to have to be a hugely different piece of CSGO strat if they're going to want to keep sure that they can maintain this 7-5 or the 7-5 advantage.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. This is definitely a defensive-sided map, in my opinion, so barely able to eke out some of those wins. I'm curious to see on how CS is going to be able to approach this and play a little bit more aggressive. Shots through the smoke from Stewie, not able to find anybody. See the difference in where the sage ball is being planted as compared to when it was CSGO. He finds another, and Ace finds Shroud with Naf on the receiving end of that kill. Does get one down. He's going to skyrocket. Decides not to place it a little bit further in, so still heavily contested here in mid.
Stewie gets healed up as well. Elise
pushes
around
him
a
in.
corner immediately on men. They trade themselves off, and there's only one player from Team Valorant left alive. As 4 hungry players from Team Liquid CSGO are wanting to see if they can get the final one. Is I questioned whether or not they were going to have the attack strats. Well, Lawler, if you hit your shots, it doesn't really matter what strategies exist because nobody else is going to be alive.
Oh, it's up to Poach now in a 1v4. 35 seconds left. Does find one onto Stewie. Can he find another after? Speaking of those angles, the map awareness, trying to show out as the skyrocket's going to drop down here. Is probably going to push right through it as he does. Tries to find one on the back end. May just have to back off on this one. It is pistol round, so I can expect the aggression to continue. Gonna wrap around the back side here of B. Going through alley.
Has 20 effective health. With enough shots could potentially do it. Kicks around, but Nitro's there to take down Poach. And pistol round of the second half goes over to Team Liquid CSGO almost as quickly as it began.
Yeah, you see it here early. Just was curious about how they were going to do on attack. And just every single approach with 2. So no matter what, the trade going out. Able to clutch it up here, and then at the end, Poach obviously trying to find a way, but Nitro knows that someone's coming from whatever angle he has to cover and drops him down pretty easily. So, swing in favor here of the CSGO team. Can they continue jump? That's kind of the real question. Nobody going to buy just yet. A couple SMGs here, half buy, but...
Yeah, I do like...
Speaking for information. Oh, the early aggression from Shroud.
Gets traded out by Elise. That drops down almost immediately. Of course, for those of you that are newer to Valorant, as we have mentioned before, those little black orbs essentially are your ultimate points. If you look down at the bottom of each of the players' screens, you see a little X, and that is their ultimate, but they need those ult points to be able to charge themselves up. So utilizing things like this on the map allows them that opportunity to do so. Is yet again, another CSGO player is dropped. Nitro walls off piece of that area to make sure that they don't have anything, as it is a split meaning. As we say that, though, CSGO decides to kick to the southern side of the map and move themselves over to B side, as it does look like they have complete control, and that will be a very easy plant for them.
Good spot by Naf as well, getting rid of some of that information that is so crucial to Cypher's kit. Slorb goes up top. Should be able to hear anybody approaching if they do from Heaven. So we have an even 3 versus 3, 2 in Heaven here, 1 on the backside as well through alley, so gonna have to find a way to synchronize these shots. Doesn't matter though, Twist lands him like that as he drops down Keller. Does get audio cues that there is another one up top, so taking this close angle may be difficult.
Oh,
but
no.
apparently Ace has other ideas as they drop 2. It's now up to Ace versus Nitro. He's gonna drop the Blaze, see if he can bait the plant and the defuse, but it doesn't matter. Nitro clutches it yet again, and that's even with Ace on the Blaze, healing himself up.
Was a back and forth of the Blaze, but he zigged when he should have zagged and fell right into a shot. As yet again, another round into the hands of CSGO. So we kind of criticized, you know, the lack of experience that they might have, but it just comes to show again, CSGO's communication that you mentioned on Lawler is really helping them out in a lot of these instances. Outside of course, this moment where Ace just drops down and says, "Hello, here's a bullet for your time, Twists."
Yeah, really well played, taking that wider angle on those boxes. Benefit of having that high ground is it does cut off, but you see Ace trying to play it. He actually does get the start of the defuse, and that audio cue, he's trying to bait it out, just can't land the trade. The shots coming out from Nitro just too strong. There's plenty of sky smokes, one of my favorite utility in the game. Being able to place it from very far away, and it lasts as one of the longest smokes in the game as well. Still on our first map at a best of 3 for anybody who's just joining us here in chat.
Still lots of time to be left to play as well. 4 rounds ahead, of course, is nothing to scoff at for CSGO squad, but nice little run could put the Valorant players right back into things. We saw them take 3 rounds in a row during that second half after a solid couple rounds of eco. Potentially could be the same thing here as we now take a look at Stewie. He's playing that raise. As they try to come through, Naf actually hits a solid amount of shots there as Stewie tries to deny some direction. Twist on the opposite side of the map is able to pick himself up on a Keller. Shroud right back at it with the sniper rifle, though, as he picks one up onto Stewie and potentially create a little bit of momentum here. Spike is planted, though, so they're going to have a timer on. Poach is the only one left. Shroud, yet again, swaps off, actually, and taps. Now down to a 1v2.
Shroud picking up the 3K, has a chance for an ace. Going to check these angles, see what he can do. Full utility on the kid available, and he drops down, not using any of it, right into Twists.
I think he took off his earlobe there.
He gets dropped down. Those shots just have to be right on the money. There's a good trade to up here in heaven, but again, like, I'm looking at what he has available for his kit with the tailwind and the updraft. Like, could definitely take a unique approach on this, but decides to go to the direct route.
I want you to look at this shot, though. This literally, on this next shot around, it was,
so
it had to be a single pixel off on the shot. Yeah, well, you actually got to see, no, it must have been actually, he must have had full armor on, because you actually could see the little blood spatter, but still, not enough. Now 10-5 in favor of CSGO.
Yeah, something to notice as well is Stewie doesn't realize, but you actually can't shoot through that wall. Visual indicators, which is really nice about something that was implemented, is if you, when shooting the wall, an orange spark comes off, it means you can't penetrate. It'll be a gray puff of smoke with a black circle in the middle, if you can. So, visual indication for some of those, as you can see there.
Smoke's down.
Still some time. 60 seconds left remaining for CSGO to get themselves a solid plant. Still making sure that they try to find some extra information of which direction that they do want to go. It does look like Shroud is kind of looping himself around, and as I say that, he picks that one up onto Stewie, catching him a little bit off guard. They will decide to change positions from him, though, as it does look like they're going to end up going over through A lobby and across over to the A site. Shroud again and again picks himself up, so finds himself down with his team, but with Shroud alive, Liquid said it in chat themselves, Shroud equals clips. But that isn't going to necessarily deny the plant just yet. As we say that, though, Shroud picks himself up a 4th, and the defuse is going to be able to come through, and there you have it, Lawler. Valorant, back on the board.
You know, it's just that capability of someone so experienced in this space. With Shroud, just sometimes you need to be able to step up, and if there's anybody that really knows how to handle the pressure on this team, you have to give it to Shroud. He's been at the front for such a long time, and I mean, you're talking 22 and 13. The next closest being Keller at 15 and 12. Trying to put on that backpack the best of his capabilities.
It's like Shroud's played tactical shooters or something.
Yeah, for a really, really long time at a very high level. It's crazy to think about that translates, but who would have thought, man? Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? People that are good at video games. Good at video games. All right. We are in round number 17. Now, for those of you that are new, it is first to 13 in 24 rounds. So we are in 17 of 24. 3 more 1 rounds for CSGO, and they'll take map number 1 and start their showcase that it's not just CSGO that they're capable of doing. Valorant as well is an opportunity. Shroud tries to get himself around, picks one up onto a Liege. Now the wait game starts yet again.
Pressure here in mid, just trying to see if there's anybody there. They do see that slow orb come across from heaven. Just trying to watch those angles as Skyrocket comes down, seeing if they can find anybody. So Shroud does rotate up here. Might be able to catch another pick with that operator. It's been clutch so far all day today with it, so need to be careful on those peaks, as all these angles pretty well held by the defensive team. As Stewie comes around the corner. Ace does drop one, but Nitro picks up the trade, which is then traded immediately after by Shroud. So all these angles covered, but one thing is true still. Shroud with the 3K with that operator, and Keller picks up Twist for the 4th. And finally, we get one back in favor of the Valorant team.
But yet again, it was Shroud, as his substitution in here for Dizzy is definitely keeping Valorant alive, and a little flick of the wrist is all that needs to be done, as now it is 10-7, and the slow clawback of Team Valorant could potentially create themselves the opportunity that they want here. The Shroud kind of showcasing how well he knows how to click on a mouse.
Yeah, it's not only that, but also using his kit. You saw as soon as he took that sweep with that operator, he uses his tailwind to dash out of the way, so just making sure that if there is a trade going to come out, he doesn't want to be on the receiving end of it. And this is that capture orb I'm talking about, where it gives you 1 ult point. So Mendo now 2 ult points away from having that resurrect backed up, which can definitely swing a fight. The Sage wall has been broken.
Of course, that little animation that you see from Poach, that is the Brimstone ability, where he can call down some smoke screens and help himself up. Sky Smoke, as it's called. Helps create a little bit of a better effort. Makes it easier, whereas in CSGO, you gotta have the pixel-perfect smoke tosses. Not necessarily the case with Brimstone's ability here, as Mendo gets himself on. Mendo been a little quiet so far, but finally getting himself a little bit of effort as his Sage play started himself up strong. Mendo has been streaming Valorant an ungodly amount of hours since the game came out.
Now you're seeing this defending team actually utilize what Cypher's true capabilities are. You see him not only holding mid, because he has that spy cam at the bottom left of the minimap, he has the capability of holding an entire angle, and you can see the advantage it brings and how much aggression they can bring on one site. Luckily, it pays off for them this time, so they're able to get another round win.
That clawback looking ever so real, as they do also successfully have their economy in order. You actually take a look down at the economy of Team CSGO, and they do have the chance to go for full buys, but it does look like that they're going to eco one more round. Thankfully, they do have the insurance of that 2-round advantage, so potentially giving one more up if they're unable to do anything with his pistols could potentially create them to have some more money to work with. Go ahead and take those last 3 rounds that they have available.
Play the mid, Sage wall coming up. 30 seconds again. Could jump on that and actually crawl through that Sky Smoke if they wanted, but it's already down. You have Phoenix there. Possibly could use a curveball to flash these two, but it wouldn't even matter. As peeking that angle, way too dangerous, especially with 3 in mid. The spike is there. If they could get him down, could be beneficial as they break the wall rather than having to wait. Need to be careful on the flank as well with the zipline coming up from heaven. They're just taking their time as they're trying to rotate. It looks like to B site, something they haven't pushed in a while. But you can see the teamwork. Look how much they're grouped up. This is where Raze could really come in handy, but beneficial for them. There is none on the Valorant team.
Shroud still holding himself an angle as well. All 5 members now on the bottom side of the map headed towards B. It is going to be an ultimate from the breach coming out to see if he can disrupt any of the extra members, and this is where the firefights are going to have to happen. It is a lot of knowledge left to be seen, as Ace able to pick himself up on his Twiz. Nitro picked up a 2K on Ace and Mendo to trade themselves out, and then gets traded off himself by Kellar. Now moves it down, and bodies are falling as we're under 15 seconds left remaining. Spike is going to have to get planted. A wall bang from Shroud is going to help out onto Stewie. Elise tries to pop the audio cue, turns him around, is able to take down Shroud, but Poach with a nice repositioning to take him down, and yet again, another round in favor of Valorant, moving us now to 10-9. As this replay is going to show the big difference of Valorant and CSGO. It is the immediate disruption that exists when those abilities decide to pop off, specifically with the ultimates from the breach, as you can see there. Creates lots of opportunities. We find ourselves with a 10-9 advantage for CSGO coming into this next round.
Yeah, it's just the trades coming out left and right here on that site too. I mean, it's what they do so well, but to claw back. I mean, they were down by quite a bit, so 2 rounds in a row for Valorant, as really heavy contested here on A site. Seems to be the favored pick from the CSGO team, as Shroud, again with the operator, drops down 1. Trying to pre-fire and just trades left and right. Everybody going down, and through the sky smoke, they actually pick up the last 2. And with our last 3 rounds to get victories, we got 6 remaining. We're all tied up yet again.
Looks like a go button was pressed by Team Valorant there, as that round ended extraordinarily quickly for starting with the opening frag of Shroud on that operator, and then followed up by plenty of other action. And we find ourselves coming into round 21 at 10-10. We've seen an overtime match every time Mendo has taken the stage, I guess, or the virtual stage, as we might call it. Are we going to see another overtime here again, Lawler?
I really hope so. Just those clutch moments are what these games are all about. The things that really show when these guys can step up in the biggest moments. But you can see Mendo, he's been struggling a little bit more today. I just feel like he's a little uncomfortable on a more defensive pick of Sage. He's trying to find any pixel he can through that smoke. Does spot 1. Going to left-hand side. Leech does pick up the opposite Phoenix, as Stewie pops the corner and drops down Shroud. Flash coming out, actually affecting his own player, but nobody's there. Should be okay.
Gonna hit the go button
on a B site.
I know
Those
exactly
two.
where
The quick trade's gonna give him the opportunity to go ahead and actually do a quick plant here onto the side, as Liege immediately drops Poach when he comes around the corner. His signature ability is charged, which means he can have opportunities. Mendo gets one onto Leaf, but the spike is still planted, and a retake opportunity is still going to have to happen. It will be a little bit more difficult, as Nitro is able to take down Mendo, but gets traded out by Ace, who then picks up a second on a Stewie. Naf, the only one left alive, has chances. He turns onto 1. Still 1 player left. Can take his time. He's going to have to hurry and start plant soon. That's going to be an immediate ultimate. It's going to go. Hellfire is going to rain down and potentially stop any chance of the defuse. Blaze gets thrown as well. Ace knows he has to start onto the defuse, but it isn't going to be enough, as Naf utilizing the ultimate, but more importantly, then hitting that final shot onto Ace and dropping it down 11-10 CSGO.
Yeah, really well played by Naf on the back end there. Just gets the initial frag and then backs out and takes a different angle of approach. So we saw Liege, even on this fight, and the reason why it was so impressive was because he was spotted out by Cypher's ability. So the player knew exactly where he was. But this play, to take that initial peek, takes a shot, and then rotates back down. So Ace, even though it pushes in front of that, gets attacked from that same angle on a different angle when going back through the heavens. So difficulty of that diffuse on that spike is you have to play it. You can't really be hesitant, despite all the options that are capable. It's already 30 seconds into this round. No frags just yet, so after a couple fast approaches, seemingly slowing it down a little bit here. A delayed push, possibly. 3 covering mid. Spike rotating towards B, so Cypher's been able to lock it down so far all game long. But a slow rotate from Sage into mid. Curious to see on how they play, if they want to go through sewer back over to the Brimstone.
You do have Shroud having his ultimate available on the Jet, as well as the Brimstone, and Bob, unfortunately, going to have to go back to the repair shop, as Brimstone throws down yet another Sky Smoke to help stop things a little bit smaller. Run it back, looks like it's going to get popped, and immediately the opportunity to see if he can find someone. Comes around, isn't going to be enough just yet. Throws a curveball around to try to flash, and unfortunately, isn't going to be able to help them out too much. As Nitro, though, as we say that, picks himself up a kill on Ace.
Highly contested here in heaven. That Sky Smoke, they're going to trade out. Mendo dropping Naf, but Nitro able to get the trade and the pickup as they push heavily here into B site. They do find Cypher on the back end, dropping down Keller almost immediately. But need to look out for the Hellfire. As that orbital strike comes in and Shroud walled off. Could break that down, but doesn't want to give away the audio cue. Nice thing about having someone like Jet. The mobility is there, but does not matter if you can't land the ultimate hits. As a Liege gets the wall bang and brings them within match point.
One more round, and CSGO secures themselves a map 1 victory, and keeping themselves undefeated thus far. in the world of Valorant is 12 to 10 is certainly a stat line that they can't scoff at. Is Stewie with 22, 21, and 11 for the KDA so far. Definitely helping his team out, but there has been solid contribution by everybody else, and specifically, I think Nitro has started to understand that Sage as each of these rounds have progressed and understanding how to use that barrier to help themselves out quite a bit more.
Not going to make it easy on them as Ace dropped immediately by an operator. As you can see, Stewie going to throw the grenade over the top, see if he can find anybody there. Plus the grenade as well, so a couple residuals. They're going to shoot through the box, see if they can find a lead shoot with another wallbang on Shroud. That's 2 back-to-back rounds for Shroud, who's been their top fragger, and pretty much their carry has been removed. So this could be dangerous as Mendo going to back up, see if he can pop anybody with that operator that was from Shroud.
Already at a disadvantage, though. 2 members down.
Flash out.
Just no hesitation either. You get that pick and then immediately rush straight into B. So you've now got 4 people already approached on B site. Need to be careful, though. The Sage in Heaven.
Yeah, it's going to be an easy
Mendo,
plant.
they're right on top of you.
Poach helps out with 1 kill onto Naf. You can see the cues of the breach of that disruption. Isn't going to land on anybody just yet as slow creeps of Poach knocks down that Sage wall to help see if anybody's hanging out behind. An immediate flash out isn't going to be enough, though, as Mendo picks up a second, actually. 2 kills there. Now it's a 1v2 situation. Mendo and an operator. Is he going to wake up? No, he's not. Right back to sleep, said Elige. And that's going to be a 13-10 victory in favor of CSGO here in map number 1.